There are many well-known habits people know they should never get into: drugs, drinking, gambling, etc. What are some less well-known things or habits that people shouldn't get into? Payday advance loans. Endless cycle. I used to play Pokemon Go and became a moderator for my community's Pogo community and met a bunch of amazing people doing it. I was walking into GameStop a few weeks ago and one of my old Pokemon buddies walked into the payday loan place next door and I waved at him and smiled, in the look of shame he had when he opened the payday door made me very sad. Even if you're not being bankrupted by it, you feel the weight of the debt every single day. The advertising makes it seem like a light and airy decision, but the process itself is designed to feel like a collar of bricks. They own your ass. Don't get into the habit of regularly borrowing money and things from friends and family. My wife's parents keep asking us for money, and when we first got married I cut the money train off. Her sister said, quote, "I hope your fucking marriage fails," because we wouldn't give her money to play bingo. Eating when you're not hungry. For anyone needing help with this, drink water when you feel hungry. Most likely, your body is just dehydrated and your stomach is empty, so it's sending the hungry signal to your brain. If you're really hungry, you'll still want to eat after drinking a cup. If it was just a hankering for a snack, the cup of water will alleviate the hunger. So instead of reaching for that snack or food, drink more water. Edit. Tacking on some notes from comments. Not recommending people skip meals to drink water. If you're hungry, you should probably eat a meal. If you're feeling hungry for an afternoon or late night snack after just eating, the water is just a stopgap, so you don't eat more than you should. If you're not hungry enough to eat a fruit, you're not really hungry. If you don't like apples, go for a pear, some grapes, almonds, nuts, etc. Eat healthier. Some food/snacks make you feel full longer, so you'll feel hungry less during the day. Do learn to differentiate between feeling hungry and actually being hungry. For me, when I get bored, I feel hungry. This is probably the original poster's meaning too. Personally, I go for tea when I have the time to make it. Otherwise, filling up a large bottle of water from the fountain at work to drink at my desk. Your posture. Please take care of it. Guiltily unslouches. Reslouches 4 seconds after scrolling away from this post. Microtransactions. 99 cents here, $4.99 there, $9.99 etc. It adds up fast. Edit. For those commenting on the irony of someone giving me Reddit gold and silver, the irony was not lost on me. I do appreciate it though. First time I've received either. Thank you, kind strangers. I learned this the hard way in my early 20s. I cringe when I think about how much I spent on lots of small stupid shit. Mindlessly browsing YouTube at night when you know you should go to bed. I'm so guilty at this one. Yet I keep doing it. I can't remember where I picked it from, but a great rule I follow is never stay up late to do something you wouldn't get up early for. There are very few things I would get up early for. Instructions unclear. Staying up late to get a nice early start to my day. Mindless regular purchases. Regular Starbucks, or smoking, or eating out gets very expensive. Several hundreds of dollars a month really adds up in a year and a lifetime. Ex-smoker here who has saved an estimated $5,675 since March 2017. And cutting out the daily trip to the 7-Eleven also tends to cut down on unnecessary drinks and snacks. Office gossip and shit talking. At my first job as a designer at an ad agency, there was a day when there was some shit going down between two of the dept heads. I was new and found it fascinating and started to chat with my art director about it. That lasted about 3 seconds before he turned to me and said, backquote, "It's all bullshit and we aren't discussing it, nor should you ask anyone else. You're not being paid to gossip and neither am I, so let's both just get back to work." He said that quietly and with a grin, so there was no ruffled feathers, but he was right. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated that. All these years later and now I'm the creative director, and I still follow that advice. Don't participate in office gossip. Steer clear of people that do the work. Be nice to everyone. Lying. It's so easy to start fabricating small lies here and there. Makes life more interesting, doesn't it? Then suddenly you're speaking in a British accent 4 years to your wife, You told you were a millionaire and the tax man is coming tomorrow and the web of lies will shatter and fall. My friend's sister spoke at her wedding with a French accent. She is not French at all, doesn't even speak the language fluently, but spent some time in Paris just prior to the wedding. I hated it at the time, but now I just love that I have this bizarre memory, like I was in an episode of The Office or something. Tolerating friends and family that drain your energy, lie, and refuse to reciprocate. I had this epiphany in my early/mid 20s, and I honestly thought that being around people just made you feel drained and stressed out. I really identified as an introvert. 10 years later my life is so much better without the dead weight and I actually enjoy the company of people I surround myself with. I've had the same regarding playing sports. I thought I just wasn't a sports person, and playing sports made me feel terrible, but as it turns out it was the way I was introduced to it, through pen in middle school. I was just playing with complete shitheads all my life, and it's only 20 years later, when I voluntarily went into it, that I realized that sports can be a lot of fun if you are playing with the right people. Automatically thinking negatively about things. Also complaining. Nothing wrong with some ranting, but when all you do is complain about everything, it's really draining to everyone around you. I have a friend who just never seems to have anything nice to say when I see them. Always has a new disaster in their life to complain about. I know firsthand that constant bitching about everything is addicting, and after some time I started to annoy myself and had to make some big changes. Worrying what other people think of you too much. I used to have a big problem with this, and I've actually been to therapy. Paid good money to hear something I should have already known. She asked me to think about all the people that have embarrassed themselves in front of me, and that I only had 1 minute to come up with them. I was maybe able to say 2. She said that's exactly what other people feel about my embarrassments. They probably don't even remember, or even really care. Same with everything, not just embarrassing stuff. Anger. I've seen so many people addicted to their anger ruin their lives at a rate that's downright shocking. Even when comparing it to things which are traditionally seen as much more dangerous at a glance, like some drugs and alcohol. Anger literally eats people alive and spits them out. Changed. I used to think it was cool in high school to shovel my reactions down and be nothing but unaffected whenever stuff happened. Got older. Realized I felt repressed. Got in my car and screamed and decided I was going to let my emotions out from then on. Accidentally just became way more angry, and it felt great until I realized I was hurting people I loved. Now I'm trying to be less angry and find a balance. Shit's hard, man. Soda. Seriously, I cut out soda a few years ago and changed to drinking sparkling water. I changed nothing else about my lifestyle, and I lost 10 pounds very quickly. I've since changed to just drinking normal water, and I feel so much better than when I was drinking cola regularly. Also, after I lost that first 10 pounds, I started walking a lot more than taking the bus. I lost another 10 pounds by making that pretty easy change too. I used to work with this excessively overweight person. Then I go away for a year. When I next visit, this man is thin. I'm gobsmacked. Thin. I ask him how he lost so much weight. I gave up Coca-Cola. I was drinking a 2-liter bottle a day. Just gave it right up and lost all this weight. Nail biting. I can't remember when I started, but I'm 33 and still do it. It makes my fingers look like shit and is a signal to others that I'm a nervous wreck. I'd really like to stop. It's unsanitary, painful, and gross. A nail file can help, even if they are bitten right down. Smooth the sides and top to get rid of the ragged bits which are tempting and easier to rip off or nibble. This has worked for me. The reason I started biting a nail was often because of a small uneven part of the nail that I somehow tried to correct by biting it, which always led to me biting the entire nail. By using the nail file, I cut out the urge to bite it off. Going to bed with the clothes you wore outside. There's so much dirt that our clothes pick up along the way. I remember a few years ago the first time I was told not to sit on my cousin's bed unless I was wearing fresh clean clothes. I thought she was being an extreme germaphobe, but it makes sense up to this day. Scrolled this whole thing and not seen one of the most prevalent ones. Cheating/adultery. All you need to do is try it once and get away with it. Then it's entirely unlikely you'll ever find a reason to stop. Scratch off tickets. I used to work at a gas station, and there were people who would sink hundreds of dollars every month into tickets. And whenever they won money, they'd just spend it on more tickets. They are not worth it.